Greetings traveler and welcome to another one of my speed builds. For today our travels bring us to Chestnut Ridge and we're building an African glamping vacation site. And today I'm going to be doing a full voiceover for you. So as always, I advise you to get a snack or a drink, even though today's video is relatively shorter than my other videos. But I personally have my coffee here and I'm very much cozying up and planning to have a nice time with you guys. So I hope you noticed some kind of difference in the audio quality for today's video because I have a new kind of audio setup and I got it as a gift recently from somebody very special. So I'd like to thank them a lot. And I mean, I never imagined that I would be having this kind of fancy microphone and speakers and headphones. I wasn't expecting it anytime soon, so this was a very, very pleasant surprise. But enough about that, let's go back into the Sims world and discuss this build a bit. I basically wanted a kind of tent. So I wanted to be looking as tent-ish as possible. So I used these tents from Get Famous. I also used these drapes from the Egypt set from Felixandre. It's one of his older sets. And it was just perfect here. Although, because they're kind of sitting in an awkward position, like between the indoors and the outdoors. Some of the drapes have inconsistent colors, so some of them look darker than the others, and it's just a lighting issue in The Sims that we're all familiar with. But anyway, at the back of the tent we have this other tent. I used the drapes that come with the Precious Promises set from Pierre Sim and Charlie Pancakes, along with the columns, the pillars that come with that set. I should remember to use these drapes more often in my builds. Sometimes I just forget that they exist because they're just great. You can basically customize them to build whatever tent you want or canopy or whatever. And then they also come with these really cute string lights and I just love them. They're adorable. So anyway, on that little platform on the side of the house, you can see me using the tent that comes with the Tiny Travelers set. That is actually a bed canopy for children, but I sized it up a few times and it's gonna turn into like a cinema, outdoor cinema area. Overall, there are a lot of activities for your Sims to do on this lot. There are so many different platforms where your Sims can sit and or have fun, and you're gonna be seeing all of that in a bit. On this platform here, I'm going to place a pool, but here I'm gonna realize that you can't place a pool inside this wooden platform, so I changed it into a regular solid platform, which sucks. I mean, I understand why, it just wouldn't make sense physically speaking, but aesthetically it would have been brilliant. But you can't have your pool without any depth or just, you know, floating around inside a wooden deck with only beams for support. So yeah, I guess that's why. And here I'm adding another platform yet, and here I'm actually gonna add a real tent, one of those that you can camp in, and also the infamous woohoo blanket from The Sims 4 Love Struck. So, yeah, the whole theme of this build is just romance. I can see it kind of as a honeymoon destination, or if your sim couple just wants to go on a romantic getaway, this is a perfect lot for them. There are so many different romantic activities to do. So yeah, they won't be bored in here at all. And I definitely don't recommend you to use this as a residential lot because for starters, it doesn't have any doors. If you noticed, the whole like main building is just open, and all of those archways are open, so none of them are actual doors. So yeah, it doesn't just make sense as a residential lot. It definitely doesn't make sense as a family house or anywhere you'd bring your kids. So I'd say just leave it as a vacation, romantic vacation getaway, or maybe even something for a friend's getaway maybe works. In general, I did struggle to find a world that is African looking, so it was down to Chestnut Ridge and Oasis Springs, but I felt like Chestnut Ridge made a bit more sense. And I also used some African looking trees that come with my wedding stories. And actually, most of the trees and plants that you can see here are from my wedding stories. They really resemble some types of African trees, so that's why I used them. You also saw me place some trees outside the lot using the tool mod just to make it more cohesive and make it look more like an actual African world. And here I'm working on the pond, and it took a long time. I did cut out most of it and also most of the landscaping. These cacti plants that I'm using are from Strangerville, and I also used some Savannah grass that is, I guess, from Horse Ranch. Since this is the world that we're building in, it would make more sense to use the actual grass from that world. And then I also added some rocks to the pond to make it look more natural. And I didn't change the color swatch, even though I went through the swatches a lot, but I thought that this default blue swatch looked the best. I also put some insects in the pond. I remember placing fireflies and mosquitoes, and I don't know if that has any effect on the gameplay. I hope not, because I did place a lot of mosquitoes because it just made sense. Also, I did put an alligator or a crocodile, not sure which one it is, but it didn't appear for me in live mode. I'm not sure why, but I don't know, maybe I did something wrong, or maybe it doesn't always appear, like it just appears in specific times. But anyway, for the lighting, I used this beautiful kind of paper lantern from the Seasons pack, and it's just really beautiful. It creates a beautiful warm glow, and I absolutely love this. I place it all around the platforms, all around the build. So this build isn't actually based on anything specific. I looked up like hotel tents and glamping tents in Africa, and they all really look similar to what I've built here, so I took some inspiration from those. And honestly, I don't know how this works in real life, because they're all kind of really open, just like this one I built in The Sims, and it seems like there is little to no privacy and absolutely no security in these kind of hotels or Airbnbs. So I don't know, like, how do you stay in these places? Do you not get eaten alive by mosquitoes or something? Isn't there, I don't know, like wildlife? It's just very confusing to me, but I mean, thankfully in The Sims you won't be encountering any of those real world problems. Unless you're into realism, then maybe it's gonna bug you. So now we've moved on to the exterior furniture, and I did the pool area. Here I'm just gonna put seats along with the swing, and I also did this really cute idea with this swing armchair just hanging from the tree. And of course it's not functional as a swing, unfortunately, but you can sit there and pretend to swing. I really wish we'd get single swings someday instead of these double swings. That would be great. It's one of the things on my Sims 4 bucket list. And even though I have some single swing custom content, they aren't actually functional as a swing. They're just regular chairs, and that kind of bugs me, but I guess it's better than nothing. I honestly don't remember the last time I've done a full voiceover. It was a long time ago, I think. Other than my Q&A video, I mean, I actually knew what to say in that video because I had a bunch of questions, but now I'm just kind of sitting here and winging it, and I'm not really sure what to talk about. Here we have the outdoor cinema area I've been talking about. I also put some meditation mats. Again, I should look up those objects' names because I don't know what they're called in the game. But yeah, it's a very zen kind of lot, so they were just perfect to place there. And here by the lake, I'm gonna put the fire pit. And I love this area right here. I can imagine having a cozy night out here by the fire and having the chill evening air blowing at your face. It would be absolutely magical. Here at the back, I am just putting an outdoor grill. So this is where your Sims would have their barbecue parties and sit and eat together. Also, I only put a dining table for 4 people here because why would you have more than 4 people vacationing on this lot? I think you could have like maybe 2 couples. One would stay inside the house here in the main tent, and then the other couple would stay in the actual tent outside. We have finally moved on to the interior, and it's a quite straightforward floor plan. Over here we have the kitchen slash dining, if you can call it a dining, and to the right of this we have the bedroom, and then to the left we have a main living room, and that's pretty much it. In the kitchen here, I use the Quate set from Hey Harry. I also use that set in general a lot in this build because it's an African set. And I also combine the Quate kitchen with the Woodland Ranch counters from Pierre Sim, the ones that you can see here. And it's because they're plaster counters, so they really went well with these plaster walls. And then I also use the Grove set a lot in this build. So those shelves on top of the counters here are from the Grove set, and yeah, mainly I looked for anything with a plaster material or texture and basically used it in this build. I'm using a lot of earthy, warm tones in this build, so we have lots of different hues of brown and then kind of a orangey, reddish brown and orange tones, yellow, beige, all those very warm colors. And I really love this tile on the back of the counters. It's really beautiful. Other than that, I use these bar chairs from the Desert Luxe kit, and yeah, it was free a while back. I think it was like if you had the Sims 4 base game already, then you would get that kit for free. So if you bought the Sims 4 at that time, then you most definitely have that kit. And other than that, there's not much going on in this room. Just this shelf and a chair and an end table with some lemons. And now in the bedroom, I'm using this bed from the Woodland Ranch pack, and it already has a canopy, but I kind of put another canopy on top of that, and this one is from the Florence set. I combined both because this Florence canopy has a more tenty feel, so it looked good on top of the other canopy, but then I didn't use it alone because I wanted some kind of color or pattern, and the Woodland Ranch canopy does have this kind of patterned orange fabric. And I just realized that I lied to you earlier. We do have a door in this house, 2 doors actually. So there's the door that leads to the bedroom, and then there's the door that leads to the bathroom. And when I was playtesting this, it was saved as a residential lot, not as a vacation lot. So, you know, the welcoming wagon came, which is so super annoying. It happens every single build. I forget to turn off the setting for them to not come. So yeah, the welcoming wagon came and they went inside the house to the bedroom door, and they were knocking on that. So they were basically already inside my house, and that was quite annoying. So that's why I'm telling you that this doesn't work as a residential lot, unless maybe you replace the front quote-unquote door or arch with an actual door, then maybe it would work for you. But enough about that. We're now in the living room, which I really love. It's absolutely gorgeous, if I can say so myself. I just really love it. It has a lot of cultural elements, wild elements, and I do something very risky and brave with the rugs in here, but I think it looks pretty. If you think it's overwhelming and find that it's a little too much, you can just, replace it with one rug. You can just pick one of the rugs that I chose and put it by itself, because I did combine 3 different rugs. But anyway, I guess that's it from me today. We're almost done with this build, so thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was entertaining, and I hope to see you again in the next one. As usual, if you want to download this, then head to my description. You're gonna find a link that goes to my Patreon, where you're gonna find all the CC links and the tray files, and you're also gonna find this on my gallery. My ID is just the same as my channel name, and Big thanks to my supporters on Patreon. You guys are the best. If you'd like to support me on Patreon, I would truly appreciate that. And see you all next time in my next video. Bye!